You know, when I was a kid, I often thought about what I wanted to be when I grew up. You see, I loved animals, dogs and cats, goldfish, hamsters, and maybe the occasional raccoon, although they weren't my pet. And so I decided I wanted to be a veterinarian. I wanted to be someone that took care of animals. But then I started to realize taking care of animals isn't just about playing with cute and furry creatures. I had to do a lot of sort of hard stuff and some gross stuff. And I had to do it with snakes and spiders and mice and all the other things that I didn't like. And so I quickly changed what I thought I wanted to be when I grew up. How about you? Have you ever thought about what you want to be when you grow up? You know, for many people, they want to be doctors and nurses. And doctors and nurses are important because they take care of the health of our body. And today, we're going to discover that Jesus, because he was God's son, had power over sickness. But Jesus is far greater than any doctor or surgeon or nurse. He didn't use medicines or techniques to heal the body. He used God's power to heal people. And not just people that were sort of sick with a cold, but people who were blind, and some of them were sick from the time they were born. Matthew chapter 9, verse 35 says this: Jesus continued going around to all the towns and villages, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the good news of the kingdom, and healing every disease and every sickness. You know, Jesus healed people not to show off a cool magic trick, because it wasn't magic. He was using the power of God. He wanted people to know that he was God's son, and he was demonstrating that he too had power over sickness. Check this out.
One day, Jesus passed through a village on his way to Jerusalem. A group of men met him, 10 men. Jesus could see that all of the men had terrible skin disease. They were 10 men with leprosy. People with leprosy were called lepers. Because of their disease, lepers often were made to live away from their families and friends. The men called out to Jesus from a distance, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." Jesus looked at them and said, "Go, show yourselves to the priests." The men hurried to see the priests. As they were going, they realized something had happened. All of them were healed. The leprosy was gone. One man, a Samaritan, looked and saw his healed skin. He turned around and went back to Jesus. The man praised God with a loud voice. He laid face down at Jesus' feet, thanking him and thanking him. Not 10 men, just one man. "Didn't I heal 10 men? Where are the other 9? Jesus asked. "Are you, a Samaritan, the only one who came back to give glory to God?" Jesus turned to the healed man and said, "Get up and go on your way. Your faith has saved you."
Did you know that God still does miracles today? The same power that Jesus used to heal the people in this story is the same power that we have access to today. And that's why the Bible tells us that when someone is sick, we should pray and ask God to heal them. Now, oftentimes we have grandparents and parents and family members that maybe aren't healed in the way that we think they should. Jesus has incredible power, and it's on display in this story right here. Have you ever known someone who is sick? Maybe it's a grandparent, a parent, or maybe a loved one or a close friend. Have you ever prayed that God would heal them and make them well? You see, the same power that Jesus had to heal those sick people is the same power that God gives to us. Now, we don't walk around healing people like Jesus. We're not God's son. But God asks us to pray and ask that he heal people. Oftentimes, our prayers aren't answered in the way that we think they should be, but God still hears us, and God still provides an answer even if it's not what we think it should be. That Jesus had power over sickness because he had the power of God, and that same power is still alive and well today.